Hello everyone, it's Lewis here from Hill & Clark, joined once again by Paul Clark, Managing Director here at Hill & Clark. We're trying to bring you some really sound little nuggets of information and advice regarding the huge changes this year in terms of tenancy. And we're going to go down the kind of little bit of a legislation route now, aren't we? And we're going to talk Immigration Act.
Okay, well the Immigration Act's been around for a little while. First of all, landlords are responsible for ensuring that their tenants have a right to rent check. In other words, they have a right to be in this country and they have a right, therefore, to rent a property. What a lot of landlords may not know is even if their agent is doing that, and they've almost given that responsibility to the agent, they don't abdicate, ultimately, their accountability. So if there is somebody in their property that shouldn't be there, it's the landlord that ultimately will carry the can, and he can't put that onto the agent. Right. So again, most agents will do that for them. Certainly the reputable agents will do the right to rent check for them to ensure that the person going into the property can be there. Now the problem comes when, let's say if you've got a single person move into the property and then they have a partner want to come and join them. Is the partner, have they got a right to be in the country and a right to be there? And so, again, if it's checked and they don't, even though landlord you may not know that they're there, you're going to be held accountable. It's the government's way of passing some of their responsibility onto the landlords for them to be responsible for immigration. So
one thing you just said there, sorry, very important. Obviously, even if for the first tenant has had the right check done and everything is fine, if they bring somebody to move in with them, maybe it's a partner or a family relation, vitally important that just because it might be that first name on the tenancy agreement, anyone that moves into that property has to go through that check as well.
Absolutely.
Really important bit of information.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it doesn't matter whose name's on the tenancy and whether they have a legal right to be there. The fact that if they're living in that property, the landlord's going to be held accountable. So, very important. Inspections, most important. Checking occupiers. And again, it's about proof. The landlord is on the back foot. Most of this legislation is not to help the landlord, it's to protect tenants, or it's to, legislation to cover something else. This is immigration. So just as employers can't employ or have to make sure that anybody they're employing has a right to be in the country, this means you have to ensure that your tenant or anybody living in your property has the right to be here in the country. Came under the Immigration Act, and if you do get caught out by this, this could result in up to 5 years imprisonment.
So this is a criminal. This is not just.
This is criminal.
This is not civil. This is potentially a criminal.
This is absolutely it's criminal. But ultimately, if you notify them that you've got somebody there who shouldn't be in the country, the authorities will actually support you, and there are now accelerated measures to get those people removed, not only from the property but also from the country.
Okay.
But again, know what you're doing.
Really important. They're all serious matters, but the big word there mentioned was criminal. So it's really important that you have a professional letting agent that can not only give you the right advice on what to be doing, but also can put the right checks into place. This, I think, will be talked about in a lot more detail in one of our future landlord seminar events. We'll put the information along the bottom, not only the contact information, but we'll also release the information regarding our next landlord seminar event, so you can come along and get a lot more detail on this, because it's quite a big thing to talk about, isn't it? So again, really important sound bit of advice. Contact us on the information below, get the advice from the professionals. We'll be able to put you in the right direction and ensure you are compliant, and indeed you're doing the right thing by the law.